Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing? It's your boy Roar. We're here with ARCHSPIRE, Red Goliath. Very interesting stuff because, Goliath, David and Goliath in the Bible, big imposing figure that was vehemently disdainful to the Israelites and their God. And, David stood up as the small little shepherd boy amongst all their big soldiers and took them out in lieu of the faith that he had in God. I don't know how that compares to Red Goliath. I was thinking maybe Red Dwarf, like a big star or something, but we are definitely going to have to just see what's going on. I do want to check out the lyrics, though. Because I noticed that there was no subtitles available, and lyrics have yet to be transcribed. Oh, wonderful. I am going to have no idea what's going on, because if you don't know Ollie, you will. Let's jump into it. Incredible blast beat right there. And there's Mr. Lamb going crazy on the guitar. Okay, so the thing I love about Ollie, I even made a video trying to figure out how comparable he is to any average rapper with his syllable count. This dude rap screams. And I know someone mentioned on Reddit a little bit ago, do you guys have any other recommendations for tech death that's not with rapping? Because it's so hard to understand some of the instrumentals with him just barking nonsense over it. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you, first of all? I can hear everything just fine with the guitar and the drums and all that, but bands like these stand out for being different. I don't know why people are hating on this stuff, but I want to focus on the flow that he had going on here, because he had a couple great flows. So he was going, and then in the there was that overlay, the doubling that he had on his vocals there. A lot of people don't know this, but a lot of metal actually focuses with the vocals anyway, because, it might sound like they're screeching at the top of their lungs. That's not going to help long term. There's a lot of people that get up in front of their mic like this. You just turn the gain up really high. You work on your vocalizations, of course. You want to be able to project somewhat, but then you do a lot of layering in the studio. And that layering can happen on live mics as well. So that's from what I've heard. I've been trying to do metal vocals for a long time. I just don't think it's in the cards for me, but because I've never really gotten my tone right, and I do want to project more, but whatever. That's a woe for another time. Yeah, let's get back to this. Oh yeah, and him having the whole bling of stay tech is just so cool. I love that stuff. I personally feel like it's a great nod to, obviously he likes rap, and a whole big thing about rap. Well, it was a big deal. It is still a big deal in some circles, but having that bling, that visual of this is what I'm able to not only afford, but also it shows you what you value, with the pendants that they have on a lot of their bling. So I love that flow. They just or like was what he did there at the end. And the fact that they cut to the double bass pedal is just so hilarious and wonderful. I think it's great. Dude, Ollie is ripped, dude. Like, what the heck? These guys are big. Big men. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't checked out this man's channel, Dean Lamb, I want to say his name is. He's the guitarist for this group, obviously. He does really, really great videos. He really, really does. Even if you don't play the guitar, like I don't play the guitar. I used to play the drums, so I love, the tech death side of that. But this guy does so much to explain a lot of how the guitaring works in these types of genres, which I think is really, at least for me, really insightful, makes me love the music a lot more. You should go check him out. I'll put a link to his channel, actually, in the description underneath this video. But, yeah, I love how it's not just blast beats and crazy stuff with the guitar as well. That you can hear that it's all working together with the vocals. Because there's times where Ollie just does the typical, I'm just growling, not anything crazy, not any rapid fire stuff. And that works with the drums and the guitar. But then when he goes into spitting, they either pull back or they play alongside him with that same kind of speed. The drums does that a lot, to match it. That is such a valuable thing for a band to be able to do. And I think it's another aspect that I love about these guys. So. Nice little solo. Okay, they changed their flow again. I knew that if I waited a second longer, it was going to go to in a different flow. I just wanted to give you guys time to listen to this. Like, just what I was saying with the drums and the vocals playing together, the snare is playing right alongside Ollie's like his flow right there. The drums are going like, listen to that. It's so cool. So it was so it sounded like it was going but 3 4 so it went from 3 and 4 to 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So, that's disgusting. And I love that so much. Let's dial that back yet again. This is my channel. Get off the channel if you don't like how I'm just breaking things down, okay? Come on. Okay, so then again, we dialed it back with the drums. There was 3 different flow changes right there. I cannot believe these guys. Yeah, so it's just, it's so crazy how these guys do this. I literally, Crustbag, who's an amazing video essayist on heavy metal music and that kind of thing, he did the greatest description of ARCHSPIRE I'd ever seen. That it's wonderful that ARCHSPIRE has a full album's worth of notes in a single song. They do. I don't know how these bands can sustain anything more than maybe 3 or 4 songs a show. I don't get it. I don't. just that rapid fire as the band had their stop and starts was just... I always imagine, I mean, I think this for most guitarists, but especially for guys like Dean, that he does a big solo like that and then he pulls his head back. I always feel like that's, you know, instead of doing it as like, whoo, you're just kind of feeling prideful in that moment. He's like, like it hurts every time. I feel like it's like Wolverine, you know? I think it was the first X-Men movie or the first, yeah, it was the first X-Men movie with Wolverine or something. And someone asked him if it hurts every time his claws detract. And he said, yeah, it hurts every time. You know, I feel like that's got to be Dean. You know, his superpower is, yes, he could go crazy, but it always hurts every time. Great guitar right there. Oh, I love that. So that's such an interesting pocket for him to go in because it's going or it's the guitar's going dun 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 and the drums just so then dun 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 dun. It sounds like he starts on like the 3 and 4. He's kind of dun like his pocket right there is very interesting. You have a relatively consistent point right there where the guitar is just doing its thing, the drums are keeping the beat going, right? So you have this whole stretch of time to just mess with it however you want as the vocalist, and he chooses a very interesting pocket right there. I like that. Okay, so maybe the first part wasn't that weird. Or no, yeah. My gosh, it sounds so interesting. You don't hear this in rap. You don't hear this in metal. So my brain trying to combine how the two happen, even in nu metal, it's so like just very simplistic flows, at least in the early stuff, right? Denzel Curry obviously had a lot more rap focused or rock, or excuse me, his flow was a lot more just rock-like. Even though it was rap, he did have a lot more like a rock flow to it. But where Ollie is going here is just so interesting. Yeah, okay, so the second and fourth line there was but the first and third line was like just it's so interesting. I love that pocket. So anyway. I love how the light is flashing off his pendant as well. Ugh. his growls right there for that chorus is even more spooky. So insane. I'd look the same way, boss. After all that drumming, I would just sit there like, all right. That's so interesting. I love that. Well, if any of you guys know, anything with the lyrics and stuff, please tell me below. Lib of Leviticus. Just, that was an insane song. Anyway, if you guys haven't heard their music, you need to go check it out. If you love anything about metal and you can even have a fraction of understanding and appreciation for rap, you're going to love their stuff. And that's all I got to say about that. See you guys next time.